early.
What you got?
Yo.
Any interesting highlights that went down?
Interesting highlights from this week. Not really. You know what I'm saying? Getting some work done.
Regular shit.
Yeah, like some regular shit. Getting some work done. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing a lot of like thinking, a lot of reflecting, man. Definitely starting to feel better, you know what I'm saying, from the injury or surgery, I guess, you know what I'm saying?
Word, that's right. Yeah.
Starting to like, you know what I'm saying, I feel like get myself back in it, you know what I'm saying? Well, not even just like, you know what I'm saying, like yesterday I like was feeling better as far as like putting weight on my leg and shit like that. Today is feeling better. Just like it gets tired quickly, so like I still just can't be like or maybe I don't know if it's tired is the word, but like it be hurting sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Diggy told you Achilles.
Yeah. So like he said it's tired.
It's tired.
Yeah.
It's tired.
But nah, so like I feel like it's a like a slow process, you know what I'm saying? So like every week kind of feels like it. You know what's interesting, bro?
What?
Nah, fuck that. Actually, I had a really productive week in the sense of I don't know if we talked about this on the show or off the show, but I feel like we were talking about morning routines before. Yeah. So like I definitely this week. So like ever since I first got injured, I was definitely getting like lazy. You know what I'm saying? Right. Not lazy, but like not getting up early, like rolling out of bed, staying in bed like longer than I usually do, type shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. And which I was just like being cool with myself. Like that's where I'm at right now. Fine. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like with this week, I definitely got up early, like pretty much like 4 out of the 5 days of the week. You know what I'm saying? Hit the cold shower. You know what I'm saying? Like multiple days, like pretty much every day except like one. You know what I'm saying? Right. Which was cool. But yeah, man, that's so like I was definitely getting productive. So writing things down is something, you know what I'm saying? I was like writing down like what I wanted to get done that day. Doing shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like it was productive in that sense. Cool. But other than that, it was like pretty chill. You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of how it was for me. What about you, bro?
It was dope. One nice highlight was got to shoot this video. It's a little 2-day video, so we still need to book the other space.
Yeah.
But with the psychedelic rock, man, that shit was hard as fuck. You know, shout out Randy Ego. You know, that was the artist that I shot for earlier in the week. Mm-hmm. And it was just a vibe. You know, I don't necessarily shoot, you know, psych rock artists, but I enjoy psych rock, you know, very much so. So that shit was very cool. You know, I love shooting, you know, I love putting a visual together, but you know, you always feel some type of way when, I don't know, like you emotionally charged up because the shit just, you know, be like, hell yeah, I'm just glad to be working on this particular project. So that shit's hard. Shout out to Dom and Mike Hart as well too. After we're done shooting, all three of those guys they just performed. They were just, you know what I'm saying, just performed a little set. That shit was amazing. What else, man? Had my first secondary sale with these NFTs. That shit was lit. That shit was very lit.
You had a big week in the NFT world.
That shit was trippy. That shit was trippy, bro.
Yeah, I hear that. So you said you had your first secondary sale of what?
Somebody was able to earn some cheese off of an NFT that they purchased from me. Mm-hmm. You know, that's cool as shit. That the fact that I was even able to receive a royalty off of that. Like,
you made something of even secondary values. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's very fire.
And the same token as well is like, I was able to sell an NFT that was that set the market for the artist's particular piece that it was. You know, shout out to Jimena Buena Vida. Yes, her art is very fire as well. Yeah, very very fire. And so I sold that shit. That was awesome. Then also the little highlight, sold this artifact meta pigeon. You know, that was cool as shit, bro. That was really cool as shit because that was the same day I had lost my phone. Right? So I'm in the fucking T-Mobile store. and just waiting to get a new joint. And I'm like, they got the phones there too. I'm like, yeah, let me just go on OpenSea, check the floor prices on projects. Let me check this artifact.
Yeah.
Real quick. I seen the floor, and the floor was like set to 9.5 ETH, and I was like,
9.5.
9.5. I have mine listed a little bit lower than that.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
What was it at? What was it at the last time you looked at it? Like the last time you looked at it, what was it at?
Last time I looked at it was probably like 8.5, like 8.7.
Before this.
Yeah. But it should be fluctuating. Honestly, it should go up and go down,
Yeah.
But so next thing I did, that shit went up a good 0.7. Boom, somebody had bought that shit an hour ago. Around the same time I lost my damn phone. So
I was finna say, because like you didn't have your phone at this point.
Yeah,
your shit had been gone for like how long at this point?
Fucking like, I don't know, like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, that shit was really lit. And again, it's really cool because it goes to show how, like, in this new age with blockchain and what you could do with these DAOs, and you can literally, give value back to people that initially decided to put like some skin in the game.
Yeah.
Whether that be like financially or like, sweat equity with the time you put in to like push the brands and shit. So really, really, really tough as shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's also a lot of shit that happened, within the NFL week 1 and shit,
Yeah, NFL week 1 was interesting time. We're already, what I'm saying, getting ready for week 2. You know what I'm saying? Right. The Washington football team played last night, so we're getting ready for week 2. But week 1 was cool. Was there any like surprises that kind of came at you, man, or that you noticed? Anything that was kind of like
Titans getting
telling that?
Busted.
Yeah. That was very telling. Yeah. I do think that's not going. I think they're gonna, you know what I'm saying, what they do this week is gonna be what I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not ugly for them yet. Sure, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to panic. It's the first game. I'm not going to panic off that because, like, I think Vrabel's a pretty good coach, and he's like a proven champion and shit like that. So I feel like if they're gonna get it turned around, they're gonna do that this week. Right. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. The Skins caught a dub yesterday.
Yeah, football team caught a dub last night. The football team. But I do want to say one surprise from week 1 for me was Aaron Rodgers, man. Like, that looked ugly. You know what I'm saying? And it looked sad. It looked like vengeful or something. Like bro, you're not this bad. You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, too, it's just like, yo, no matter who you are, right? And especially, I guess, at that quarterback position, it's like, now you understand, like, there's a reason for the offseason.
Yeah, that nature. Yeah, you're not immune to...
Obviously, because of how great you are, I'm sure you can get back into the thick of things.
In a couple of weeks, or maybe in this week. Even, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I ain't even going to go too crazy on it, but it's like, yeah, bro, like, that is the result. And, you can't feel any type of way if people are critical, because now this is the season. Like, the season has started.
The season has started.
That's how that
These
goes.
games count. You know what I'm saying? But even in that same game, I'm not even going to say, I think people are getting carried away with the Jameis Winston 5 touchdowns. He had less than 200 yards. You know what I'm saying?
Efficiency, though, right?
But like, it was, I do think he's not, like, I think he's going to thrive in this offense with Sean Payton. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think he's going to thrive in this offense. So the 5 touchdowns was like good to see. Well, I mean, it was interesting because it's like, damn, like, Jameis could actually kill in this offense because that, he is a threat.
And you know me, man, like,
you're critical of Jameis.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a Buccaneers fan, through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got to go through
with and through him.
Hey, you got to go through some shit to get to some greater shit.
Big
you know
facts.
What I'm saying? So that's how that goes. But
that's a big fact.
Jameis, I was like, nah. What he's showing within the Saints offense is kind of, at least just with the first game, it's a fucking small ass sample size.
Yeah.
We gonna see. But like, at least with that game, he played more of a dip and dunk game, and that was something like Jameis has led the league in passing yards. Like, he can throw the rock. He can throw touchdowns just as well as he could throw picks, but he didn't do that. He didn't do that this time. He didn't do that this time.
Yeah.
The efficiency was all that matters, because at the end of the day, all you need is to score. So it was like, yo, just to see him be able to just, to say, move the rock down the field, and then boom, now you can surprise. Like now the long play is going to be open.
The long ball, yeah. That's what he has. That he has the deep ball.
I got Alvin Kamara in the back. Like, come on, like so. We'll see, but I definitely think, you know what I'm saying? I definitely think with everything around him, like the Saints, if he can perform, you know what I'm saying, like that, they're gonna be all right. So
right?
I don't know if that makes them that much better than the Packers, like how they had crushed them.
Yeah, I think that was more the Packers don't got it all the way together.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So we're gonna see how that pans out.
That's a big fact. So as we look forward into week 2. I'm trying to think of what some of the interesting games are that are happening this week. I know Dallas and the Chargers are Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
Shit.
Were we talking about Justin Herbert yesterday or a couple days ago?
A couple days ago.
Definitely
I was
Dak.
Just saying, Justin Herbert is definitely that guy, but Dak that guy too. I'm very high up on Dak as well. But for that particular game,
yeah.
Give me the Chargers.
What are you thinking? The Chargers?
I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Yeah, they got their one dub.
They got a one. Yeah,
I think
Chargers, are the Chargers as a team nice? Like, are they like take Justin Herbert out of it if you can? Are they a playoff team around him?
No, they are very good.
Yeah,
the defense is stout as well. But the thing is, the thing with the Chargers is they've just always been known to be like like snake bitten just for some reason. Like Chargers have had teams. They've had many teams.
I mean, that whole Phillip Rivers era was underachievement as far as like postseason success.
For sure.
When you have a Hall of Fame quarterback,
sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that's who was their quarterback after. Like I don't even remember. Like I only remember the Phillip eras.
Tyrod Taylor.
I mean, I know, but I'm saying like I only remember the Phillip Rivers era before Justin Herbert. Like. None of those quarterbacks were like the guys there. They've been looking for their guy. Even that was before him.
Yeah, exactly.
Facts. That was before Phillip. Sure. But so like in that era, they definitely underachieved. You know what I'm saying? As far as like postseason success goes, they would always have like one of the best records in the league.
Yeah. I think they get this dub this week.
Tennessee plays Seattle this week, so if their offense doesn't look good against Seattle.
I mean, this is the thing, though. Seattle was they can very well go 0-2. You know what I'm saying? That still doesn't put you.
No, they can lose to Seattle, but I'm saying like if they don't put up points against Seattle, you know what I'm saying? Seattle, they come out looking to outscore you. You know what I'm saying? Russell Wilson is gonna come out and try to outscore you, but like their defense doesn't really stop anybody or anything.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's early. Yeah,
it is. We'll see. What else was there? Oh yeah, we were going to talk about. So you would hit me to the whole like idea of comedy versus.
Yeah, because like it's funny. Like I'm ashamed to say, I still haven't been to like a comedy show, and I need to.
Never.
I need to make that a priority because I really fucking love the fucking laugh, and I love comedy, and we've talked about that shit often on and offline. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, and even potentially.
Who would you see? Who would you go see? Who does it got to be to drag you out to come to a comedy? No, I know I'm slicing it, but like off some. Who are some people that you like? It was crazy. I got to see this person when they come to town.
Nah, but like ironically, you remember how I told you? I think like a month ago, like Dave Chappelle's in town. I didn't even fucking know about that. Like I was like, how the fuck do I? I would have went.
I didn't know either.
I didn't know either. Like that. I definitely would have went to that. Dave Chappelle for sure.
Big facts.
I could definitely put him at like.
Quay said, "Gotta go to one, bro. You do."
Yeah, I'm tripping.
I've been to a few. Who have I seen? I've seen Chris Rock,
Hannibal. I'll definitely go to
Hannibal. Yeah, I fuck with Hannibal.
I definitely go to a Chris Rock joint.
Yeah,
I go to Martin Lawrence joint. I mean,
I seen Martin Lawrence. Those are some of my guys. Lil Duval. I've seen.
I go to a Cat joint.
Cat Williams. I would go. Cat. You know what's crazy? He has done some of the like most like popular. I don't know if I would call him popular, but like timeless stand up. It's Pimpin' is pretty timeless. You know what I'm saying? It's like something that you could put on now and like watch. And I only say that to say he kind of bursted on the scene out of nowhere and then kind of just like disappeared in the same way.
But it kind of like coincided with like the movie. The
he did do some movie, with like what was it? Not Killer Mike.
Which role he was gonna play, bro.
Yeah. He's a pimp. Yeah, I know what I'm saying. The Friday joints was that's what really got me hip to it. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Money Mike, that was his name. But the comedy verses that you was talking about was Kevin Hart versus Cat Williams. Was it was it that he challenged them or some shit like that?
Yeah, he would say like. he said like that shit
pretty much called him out on Twitter or something.
That shit wouldn't even be nothing. Like that shit would be nothing. It would be like it'd be comical basically.
For Cat. Like it would be fun for him. Yeah. I don't know.
And although like if I really think about it, right? And the fact, because we were even thinking, like, can you even do a versus a comedy? And it's like, I think we is in agreement. It's like, unless you not joning on each other, you can't really.
Yeah, because you can't, because like the jokes have been told, but also the jokes have been told. Like, so like, what are you gonna like tell jokes that you've already told? We know what's coming. Like, we know, unless y'all just like straight up do like a 5-minute set. You do a 5-minute set. You do another 5-minute set. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how. Because like what Verzuz is in its state right now is that we're going off of people's hits, like off of their. It's like a nostalgic thing. You know what I'm saying? So if we were to do that with comedy and even Cat Williams, like because like if we're talking about right now, what does Cat Williams have to bring to the table? You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin Hart doesn't even have the time for him. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality
of the situation.
That's the reality of it. But also because. It's funny that Damon Wayans did the same kind of thing I was telling you with Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much called him out. Was like, yo, like not in a like combative way, but he was like, yo, like I would love to do a versus with Dave Chappelle. And I know people would probably like laugh at that comparison because they're probably not hip to like because Dave Chappelle is still hot now. You know what I'm saying? Like Dave Chappelle can do something now and people would stop what they're doing to go watch it. Damon Wayans kind of had that career already. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you're not hip to like his work, you don't know that that's what he was. You know what I'm saying?
So like, even if you were to hold a certain like a show or something like that, you probably see a certain demographic. Like, like
if you were to go to his show, you would see a certain demographic. If you were to go to Dave Chappelle, you probably see a wider range. You know what I'm saying? Because Dave Chappelle's just still doing it. You know what I mean?
Like a modern day push today, like Netflix. Netflix specials.
Like Dave Chappelle is still a humongous draw.
Like social media,
still a humongous draw, bro.
I'm everywhere.
I feel like he's a part of the culture. Like people are waiting to see what he says. Like when he did that stand up right after the George Floyd incident. That was probably one of the most viewed things on the internet that day. You know what I'm saying? People, and then even when he did the Netflix thing, like, you know what I'm saying? He's like the Drake in that way. When he does something, it's like people are going to just tune in just to say that they did. You know what I'm saying? And tap in with it. So I feel like, but does that, could it be like a Dave Chappelle versus Kevin Hart thing? Are they just not, they got the wrong opponents? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like Kevin Hart is probably the biggest face in comedy. I mean, even in entertainment.
And the way he runs,
you know what I'm saying?
Business, like within it is like this top tier. Like the way Kevin Hart goes about like his branding, it's top tier.
I mean, I would say the same shit for Dave Chappelle too, because the fact that Dave Chappelle is still
I mean,
around and being himself and doing what he does.
The thing about that, I feel like Chappelle is significantly funnier than Kevin Hart. So I give Kevin Hart more so of the credit. Like
he is. Listen, he's a significantly better joke teller, but like funny is funny, bro. Like funny is funny. Like Dave Chappelle would do and say something funny. Kevin Hart will do and say something funny.
At the same time, there's types of humor. There's just types of humor. Yeah. And I'm like, word. Like I feel like a preference type of thing. Like Kevin Hart is a funny nigga. Like
he's a funny dude, but like sometimes like you know what he's doing to get the laugh. And when you're a comedian and when you're like on the television, I'm not going to judge every single thing that you do to get a laugh, because like you got to get a laugh from everybody. You know what I'm saying? Or from as many people as you can. And sometimes when you find a shtick that works for you, you're going to lean into that.
Yeah, keep pushing.
I don't even know, like, speaking of the Wayans, bro, like I don't even know how Marlon Wayans has like, I just have never really found him hilarious like people find him, bro. Like, and I've never seen it. You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious?
I don't find him hilarious. I just don't. You know what I'm saying?
People find him hilarious.
Oh, no, yeah. People, I mean, he's still around. Like, he's still around. People call like White Chicks a classic. You know what I'm saying? As far as like comedy movies go. Cool. That's what I'm saying.
That was cool. Like, it's cool. I'll always remember that. So,
like, cool. You know what I'm saying? But like, I feel like he's not like, I feel like, shout out to Ameer Carter. We got him coming on in a little bit. But yeah, like I feel like Marlon Wayans hasn't always been that guy for me. You know what I'm saying? But to that point, he's had a substantial career.
Of course.
And that's what I'm like, okay, like I can't, who am I to say? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, shout out to Keenan, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Keenan.
Shout out to Keenan Ivory, bro. He set the tempo for every, talk about your family eating. Talk about a lot of careers, but like, talk about like your family eating, providing for your
like
family.
Generations.
It's a Damon Wayans Jr. out here like headlining movies now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty incredible. Yeah. It's pretty incredible. Is there? I don't even know that. I'm trying to in real time think of a family that's like as big, like it's got as many family members in entertainment as that one. I can't think of one off the top of my head. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you said what?
Very commendable. Like, the way they was able to do that.
And damn, the industry in Living Color, talking about launching careers, like some of the notable folks I know from there is like Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx. I was going to say Jennifer Lopez,
David Allen Greer.
Damn, David Allen Greer. Probably Tommy Davidson, wasn't he on there? Yeah, David Allen Greer, bro. David Allen Greer is like a dude who I didn't really realize how funny he was until I started seeing him on Martin. He was he had a little character on Martin called Reverend Leon Love.
As well too. I forgot the
Kim Wayans. Yeah, Kim Wayans. Yeah. Yeah, and then she had her little stint on In the House. That's kind of how I didn't get hip to like In Living Color until like later. I kind of went back and like you know what I'm saying, started tapping into it, and that was that. But
like TV1 and the BET
back in the day back in those days.
You remember what was it? What was up?
UPN?
UPN, right?
UPN used to have like Moesha and all that type of shit.
And then what did it changed to the CW before
the CW?
What before the
UPN?
CW? It was UPN.
It was UPN before CW.
Yeah, okay, bro.
Yeah,
man. Back in the day.
I had to take a little trip down. I had to take a little trip down memory road, bro. Got to take a trip down memory lane every once in a while, dog. That's crazy. Like we say, we got Ameer Carter coming on. Let's go to a little commercial break and then get him on.
Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
About to get into some NFT talk. About to get into some blockchain talk. You know what I'm saying? Some artistry. We're going to take a quick little commercial break and then we'll be right back.
The show. What's goody, everybody? This is Brooke Facile, and you are now tuned into Early, the morning podcast, where we talk about a multitude of different topics, where you're bound to hear something that's of interest to you as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to ItsNation TV. If you're catching this on Facebook, go ahead and go ahead and comment, engage with us, and you can go ahead and follow me at Brooke Facile, and you can follow my Brody Mek at ItsNation.com.
Y'all know I make a lot of podcasts, and every podcast needs a website. Literally, I've tried to put all of my podcasts on one website, ItsNation TV, but I've definitely gotten to a point where I've realized that in order for each podcast to grow individually on its own, each podcast needs its own website. And the easiest way to make a website for your podcast is on podpage.com. Like, literally, it's the easiest way to make a website for your podcast. Like, dog, I'll do it right now. Like, literally, all you got to do is go to podpage.com. You know what I'm saying? If you got your podcast on Apple Podcasts, you literally type the name of your podcast in. You know what I'm saying? You type in the email for your account and boom, it literally, dog, I don't know how it does it. It's magic. It literally pulls up a bunch of different website templates from your podcast. And that's not even the crazy part. What's crazy is all of this is free. They got different tiers. They got a pro tier, they got a basic tier, then they got the free tier. You know what I'm saying? The pro tier is definitely the way to go if you're taking your podcast seriously. But like with all of the tools that podpage.com gives you, it's well worth the bread, that it is. Check the link in the description to get started with podpage.com. It's literally going to be the best thing you've done for your podcast. Yo, we got Ameer Carter in the building, not in the building, in the virtual building, in the space.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's good.
It's kind of fitting. Welcome to the show, bro. Good morning, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for joining us. How you doing?
I'm all right, brothers. How y'all doing?
Man, bro, we feeling great.
Can't complain.
Yeah,
Can't complain.
Very appreciative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, stopping by on the show type shit, man. Just want to say, like, just been peeping you within the space and shit like that. You've been just making a lot of moves and
crazy moves.
Yeah, man. Definitely wanted to give you your flowers. Definitely wanted to delve into that, but definitely wanted to also, you know, just talk some like origination shit, you know, because like shit didn't just all start with this NFTs or blockchain. You know what I'm saying? Shit always be coming from somewhere, and like us being content creators and, you know, us just loving art, us just loving, you know, just always creating, you know what I'm saying? And whatever capacity that is, you know what I'm saying? We always like to relate with other individuals that are also on that same type of tip. So I was just trying to say, like, basically, like, I know you, I guess, to be an artist, but you're trying to just give I guess, like a little intro to like who you are and like how you came to be about like what you're getting into today.
Absolutely, yeah. So my name is Ameer, otherwise known as SIRSU on the internet. I'm from Philly, so shout out to my Eagles.
Hey.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm not mad at the Eagles right now. Jalen Hurts is looking pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. We're gonna see what happens this weekend, but he's looking pretty.
We're gonna see. But you know what? I'm confident. You know how Philly fans are. We overconfident, then we get real mad when we lose.
Hey, I'm not mad at it though. I feel like he's deserving of it after his play last weekend.
Absolutely. I'm really excited for Kid. As an artist, though, I'm really a designer. Been a designer and anthropologist for the past decade. My work is in this space called service design, and it's about the facilitation of people, process to co-create creative ideas to help either transform or optimize a business, a service, a product, or a combination. So the way that I work is that my output doesn't really matter because it could be anything. The purpose is how do I get the right people together to solve the right problems? So I didn't realize how heavy that actually meant me doing much more research and using my voice because over the past year, as it relates to the crypto space, I've rarely used any of my actual design talent. It's been more of the community organization and rallying that has been kind of like the mainstay of how I've been moving. But anyway, I got into the space like of crypto 2011. A friend of mine gave me a Bitcoin wallet and was like, yo, don't lose this. I lost it.
A good man right there.
Yeah, he tried to look out for you.
He tried. And it would have been a substantial bag, but you know what? We move. I didn't know at the time. I was 18. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Sure. So, you know, sometimes you own it, sometimes you're not. 2016 it resurfaces. I'm a consultant for this startup to like use blockchain for supply chain management. So I'm like, that's interesting. I'm bored out of my mind, but this is interesting. Like, essentially it was like we're tracking the provenance of workers so that we can ensure that they got paid on time when they came to a job site, when they deliver materials, when they did work. So like the whole billing and the logistics around materials, raw materials they need to use to build, and the jobs themselves, blockchain obviously was a pretty, awesome use case to work. And so we did manage to make some of that stuff happen and deploy a lot of those things. And this is like, pre-real use of Ethereum. We were kind of
ICO boom and stuff.
Pre all like the real like, and mind you, Ethereum's been out for like 6-7 years, but I think once the ICO boom kind of came about and everything, that's when stuff really got spicy. And I remember working in sort of like healthcare. I was doing hackathons in the healthcare space for the same reasons. Like I didn't realize that secondhand medical equipment, there's a huge aspect of fraud and misuse when it comes to secondhand equipment. And what I didn't also realize is that many hospitals, clinicians, and let's say like trauma, urgent care centers, whatever, they don't all have very new medical equipment. They're using all used and old stuff, which is not necessarily an issue. But if you don't know where you're getting it from, that could lead to medical malpractice, that could lead to malfunctions, that could lead to people getting misdiagnosed, and of course, death. So we were doing healthcare hackathons to find ways to track the provenance of those physical tools and machines and things of that nature to ensure people were safe. Starting to get a better knowledge of blockchain. I moved to New York shortly thereafter. I was in Nashville in that time. Moved to New York where my folks are from, but they had moved to Philly or whatever. And then got into the ICO craze of things where I was a head designer for this gig economy company. I think they're called Romeo. Okay. And they were essentially like, we want to be the Uber for everything else. So if it's a hobby, if it's a skill, something that you're good at, so you could be like a DJ, a tutor, or dog walker, it doesn't matter. They wanted to create an app to facilitate conversation between you as a hobbyist that wants to make this side hustle into a career and a client that wants your service. What we noticed though was that the people who were very charismatic, got good photos, already has good clout, obviously more successful. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? It's part of the course. That's not an issue. But we had an opportunity to use crypto to kind of create what I considered sort of like a what's the right word for this? It's like a UBI, but not really. But essentially, it's financial training wheels that would help other folks that are new to this framework build up their brand by just offering a superior service without having to worry about where they're getting their money from. Because a lot of these hobbyists, a good amount of them, especially in New York City, this is like their third or fourth or fifth hustle that they use to stay afloat. But if we're able to kind of give them somewhat of a stimulus package in a sense on a monthly basis, so that they can build their name up, so that they can actually start eating into,
so they can invest into their brand.
Exactly. Exactly. We were thinking that the use of crypto and creating a token would enable that type of interesting growth. We were on track to make that happen. ICOs crash, and then nobody wants to touch crypto at a 10-foot pole. So we had to dead it. It was very unfortunate, because we thought that what we would have done could have potentially been one of the other larger on-ramps to get people into crypto 4 or 5 years ago. And now it took NFTs, which I think is lit, but it could have been something a little bit more kind of immediately practical to people outside of the idea of art. But as I know, being an art history major, or not major, but like studying art history a lot, culture and art moves society a lot faster.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. I feel like the fact that you were working on that is, I feel like the NFTs is a proof of concept of what you were working on. Like, it can catch on. It can be quote unquote mainstream. I don't even know if NFTs is considered mainstream yet, but it's definitely on its way there. And I feel like that's going to move the whole thing. So now people are perfectly comfortable. Like, so many regular people are starting their online wallets, and, like, you know what I'm saying, opening up wallets and things like this, buying their first Ethereum, you know what I'm saying, buying their first cryptos. So now, like, as we continue to move forward, people will be comfortable with exchanging that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like we're moving that way. I wanted to ask you, I wanted to go back a little bit. You started off as a designer. What made you, in this space where designing is really taking off, what made you want to focus on just not doing that, but like more connecting people and getting even opportunities for other designers and things like that? What made you want to focus on that aspect and not like the artistry?
I often feel like the community galvanization is often the biggest work when it comes to early and emerging technology. Some of us have to be the people that can understand what's happening in the space, and then also be the translator so other people can take it and run with it.
It's a big fact.
And I realized that my voice was loud enough to be one of those people. Now, selfishly, of course, I could just go and just do art, fuck off, and like make money. No big deal, right? But I think the larger opportunity is for me to be a bridge. And the more people that I help, the better it is for me anyway. Because ultimately, I believe that this space and where we're entering in this emerging technology will be the most pervasive technology that we deal with in the next 10 to 15, 20 years. I personally want to see to it that Web3 technology and all of its, beauty is able to be harnessed in the most positive outcome way that we possibly can make it. This is one of the only formative opportunities I know, just for me, is being Black, right? That like I could put all this on and we all eating, right? With no issues. Well, whatever issues people got, they have, but I know for a fact that I could say this crypto space could be different because I could do away with a lot of the social constructs and contracts that we deal with in the real world and build something completely anew here. And as long as we have the ability to eat and to make a substantial amount of bread in this digital space, we can translate that back out into our real environments and change them. Right. Because ultimately, and everybody asks this same ass question. They're like, yeah, like people in Silicon Valley, people in New York City, people in like everywhere is like, oh yeah, I've noticed we've got systemic inequality. How do we change it? Throw fucking money at us. Give us bread. Like it's not a hard question, really. Like, of course, there are other things that they should be working on too to completely undo and change. But if I don't have to think about survival mode, I now have the privilege to think about what I want to do to improve my life.
Yeah, that's a big fact. It's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like
exactly. And like what hit me recently was my father recently passed. Shout out to my pops.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
But we're privileged to have had a family, both my mother and my father, that thought about what happens at end of life. They had the privilege to afford a lawyer to write a will. They had a privilege to deal with, or at least figure out how to do life insurance and how to put out policies and things of that nature, right? So like when something happens to us, the family's protected. But most of us don't have those affordances. Why? Because we're trying to figure out how the fuck we surviving tomorrow. So for me, it's like the essential is if money is the thing that makes all of us coexist, then you got to throw money at us. Money doesn't solve the problem, but at least it reduces the amount of problems we do have to face on a daily basis.
It solves your money problems.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, that's why I'm thinking crypto is ill, because it's like I can put money in your pockets directly. Like, you know, the shout out to the crypto cookout when we instituted a buy to get 2 crypto punks, right? Like,
we're definitely going to ask you about that.
As a result of that, crypto punks have swollen in value when it comes to the black and brown faces. Yeah. Visa buys a crypto punk. You feel me? Now the crypto punks with the tiaras are already like going for like 250 ETH now. And we bought ours for 130. All we got to do is continue to run it up, bring value. That's generational wealth to everybody who participated within that. What if in 5 years this thing goes from 130 ETH and we're now getting a buyout offer for 1,000 or 1,500 ETH? Like, yo, that's bread in our pockets immediately. Yep. So it's stuff like that where I'm thinking, yo, why else? Who else? Or what else would I be doing? Like this is it for me.
100%, bro. And like you had said something within that too. It's like, bro, you know, really transcending like a lot of these digital connections and really making like that in real life impact, right? And it's really crazy because like I was saying, you know, I at first, you know, touch base with you is very funny. I don't even know if you recall through the, you know, the virtual Renaissance group, so like Telegram. So like Lady Phoenix, AJ Washington, Stefan. So like Ra. So like that was really dope. You know what I'm saying? Just in terms of like that exchange of information. But then I seen you because simultaneously how I got even, you know, aware of what you were doing out here was the Clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? Probably like in late December. Then I seen you put that, you know, becoming a crypto creator, right? So you started like this series, you know what I'm saying? So like I definitely see like that ethos of what you speak has been like consistent throughout. And then after that, I definitely wanted to talk to you even about like how you were even able to put this mint fund together. So like to actually be able to even have like this money coming in just for the for literally to enable artists, you know what I'm saying, of color and LGBTQ2, all of them, like in terms of just to put their stuff out there. So like, how are you able to go about like pooling that and servicing that many people like that?
It was wild because shout out to the Virtual Renaissance crew. We that was real fun. It helped me for sure. Create like an initial genesis of how I wanted to really like move in the space. And I could tell you for a fact, like everything that I've built so far has happened spontaneously through Twitter ideas. Like I can't even cap. Like
it's crazy, bro.
like my friend, yo, for real. I'm so glad that shit's free and they didn't charge. Everybody keeps saying I don't understand why Twitter is free, and I'm telling them shut the fuck up. Don't say that.
Why you trying? That's like asking a teacher, "Are you gonna collect the homework?" Like what the fuck? Shut the fuck
up. Right. So my homie Late Effects on Twitter, that's his @ he put me on game to the NFT space last year, And he also spontaneously on Twitter was like, yo, I'm going to crowdfund the gas fee. Because at the time in January, the shit was dumb high. Crazy. Which it was high for a minute before kind of like the massive sell-off after Labor Day. Right. But shit was crazy. It was like $300 to mint an NFT, like on Foundations or whatever. I was like, niggas can't afford this.
More than
like,
what you was even posting the art for a lot of people. Like, yo,
you feel me?
I was about to charge for like 0.05.
Yeah. I'm like, people just like, yo, I'm selling it. Like I'm selling regular posters online and like the gas costs like 4 times that amount. Right. I was like, I got disposable income and this shit is hurting me. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out. So he said, look, listen, if you help pay for the gas fee, whatever your portion is that you contributed, I'll pay that when the work gets sold. So I'm like, yo, it's the homie. I'm a support man. It's like, so I give him half of the gas fee. My other homie, Carlos from Forefront, he came through and, contributed. I paid for his portion at the time, but, he paid me later. Mm-hmm. And about a week later, I checked my cash app. I got $600 in there. I'm like, why is Leighton sending me $600? I go on Twitter, sells the piece. I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. So I hit up Carlos. I'm like, bro, you got $100. He said, for real? I was like, yeah, my man sold his shit. Like, how you want me to send it to you? You want it and die, whatever. Mm-hmm. He was like, nah, keep it. So I'm like, you sure? He was like, bro, we got enough now. We could just like pay it forward. We got at least we could pay at least for 2 people's mint fees. And I was like, yo, that's actually kind of fire. Let's do that shit. Mm-hmm. So I put out a tweet and shit goes nuts. Jacob from Zora, he's honestly probably he's a G. This nigga is insane. Like this dude, I call him the gardener because he literally be like, I'm gonna just water all these plants and I'm gonna tend to this shit later. I know you're gonna grow, but I got all this other shit.
Real shit.
Very hard.
He came through and was like, bro, like you got unlimited Zora invites and Teneth, work your magic. I'm like, Nick, bro.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm like, I told him, first of all, I'm not putting that in my wallet, right? Wow. I'm not being responsible for that shit because if something happens, then that's my ass. And I just got here. I ain't trying to fuck that up.
Right.
So I talked to Carlos and we're like, yo, let's put it into a multi-sig. He's like, yo, let's call it the Mint Fund. And we just like putting people on. I was like,
could you explain before, like to a multi-sig, could you explain? Some viewers?
Absolutely. Yeah. So multi-sig, short for multi-signature wallet, is essentially, if you have a regular digital wallet, it's you and you wholly own it. Right. A multi-signature wallet is basically a wallet that is controlled by more than one person. And each person has to sign using their regular wallet that's attached to it to process transactions. So nobody can act as a singular owner within this multi-sig. You have to have a form of voting and what is it called? I forget the technical term for it. But essentially, you have to have a group of people. You normally want to have odd numbers. It doesn't make sense if you have even numbers because you can't break
ties.
You can't split ties. So you need to have an odd number of people that manage the multi-sig, and then you do a particular certain amount of that, normally like 2/3 of the governance in order for things to happen. So for instance, if you have, like 5 people, 3 out of the 5 need to be able to sign to process a transaction. If you do all 5, sometimes that's hard to get everybody together. But if you do less than 3, that's too little to have consensus. So you need to have at least a slight majority over the hump in order for you to make things happen.
But crazy. Anyway, like in the traditional banking world, that's like a trust type thing, like a trust.
Kind of. Yeah, it's like a trust, or it's also, for instance, let's just say the 2 of you incorporated, right? In a business context, what they're going to ask you to do is you're going to say, and this is weird because in a business context, they kind of compound everything together, and it's sort of like it's like starting a DAO and having a multi-sig at the same time. It's like if you do a bank thing, but like if you're starting a company, Bank of America, whatever, you put in an arbitrary amount of shares and then you figure out how many of you own it. And so the 2 of you could say, we're going to do an even 50-50 split. That's cool, right? But when you manage funds and things related to the business, that now means the 2 of you have to decide, or one of you has to be like, it doesn't matter, whichever one of us decides to do whatever, it is what it is. But you can see how that could lead to issues. But if you have 3 people, then you always need to have 2 to approve whatever happens.
Yeah. So you get the 10 ETH for this fund.
Yes.
What's the next thing you do?
The next thing I do is, after I check the comments and I see other people, shout out to the crew from Foundation as well. A lot of the engineers like El Pizzo and Sam, like, amazing. They came through, hit me in the DM and was like, yo, here's some invites. Here's a couple ETH. Let's get it going. So I'm like, bet. At this point, I am in a group chat with Carlos. And I'm like, bro, we need to structure this, right? And he's like, yeah. I mean, and he created Forefront.
You probably should think about that.
Right. And mind you, he's already done Forefront. He's already got pretty much kind of like a social token community group and everything. He's like tracking social tokens. So dude obviously knows a whole lot more than me. I'm still very new to the rest of the Web3 tech. I'm just a fast learner. I'm just a pretty good sponge. So I'm like, bro, all right, well, you're going to have to like let me know how we doing shit. He's like, I know in theory, but you have applied it already. So like, what's the application? So we make a Discord, kind of get everything together. We start planning. Jacob and him and myself, we kind of come up with some initial language. And then, I put up a sample site on Cargo Collective. And then February 11th, day after my birthday, we're like, yo, I put out a Twitter thread, get a Twitter account and everything called the Mint Fund. And we have our initial 4-tweet thread. We have a link to our applications. And we're like, yo, we here to serve y'all. Shit was parabolic. I can't tell you. We had over like 1,000 like people like in the applications within like the first 2 months. Shit was nuts. There was no way we were gonna get through all that. Like, yeah. And I was still having a full-time job. And it was like, and everybody else had all their other stuff that they were working on too. So we're really on like volunteering effort, but we managed to like try to get things going. We got an initial cohort of about like 36 people at first, pushed that out 4 weeks. We realized we wanted to kind of do things a little bit faster. So then every other batch was like, we were putting out 15 people every 2 weeks. And that became a really cool like system for us. And so now we're like, yo, our treasury is kind of fat. We want to do bigger grants, bigger initiatives. We want to write grants to do bigger initiatives for artists. Mm-hmm. So let's get active. And so when you look at Cyberbot, when you look at Magma, and there's a few other joints that we got in the tuck as well. These artist communities, like that's kind of the next step for us, is that we're helping to support artists that came from the Mint Fund, like Icaro, the dope non-binary artist from Brazil who started the Magma project, was also featured in Sotheby's for their natively digital collection.
Very hard.
You know what I'm saying? And so now
I was going to ask, I was just going to ask though, while we're talking about the artists, like what's your role in their releases and stuff like that? Do you guys kind of walk them through that? Are you linking with people that already have established followings? They're going to sell their art. Like, what's the process and how you pick who, you decide to back or, help mint their projects?
Yeah. So essentially what we were doing was I was taking a lot of how to be a crypto creator and kind of making it a lot bigger. And so it was, let's get workshops with really dope artists. We had like Sven Eberwing, who did a collaboration with CoinGecko, came through and talked to a lot of the artists. We had Sean Williams or iArt sometimes, Sophie Sturdivant. We had ATM, and we had Osanachi as well come through and talk to a lot of these artists about the process and how they approach minting and their creativity and how they tell stories. And then we have other practical workshops, just like breaking down like your wallet, how to set one up, like how to get Ethereum, how airdrops work, potentially what taxes look like if you're in the States, and so on and so forth. So still providing like contextual knowledge to help you navigate the space. And then ultimately, just like in our Discord, we'll just have conversations about, patience and timing, and why is it that folks feel like they don't have the right visibility, and, having frank and hard conversations about the realities of how difficult it really is, to curate. When folks say curate, a lot of people assume that it's kind of a one size fits all type of thing, and curation is not simple. curation is a very human work, and it's not something that you can completely solve using a consensus modeling structure on chain. Even if people believe that they can, even if people believe that you can completely and from a decentralized perspective, let's say, assign value and appraise artwork. It gets us to a certain perspective and a certain conversation, but it's not a one size fits all thing. And when folks don't, what folks don't realize is that, it really depends on the humans that are in front of the work, that have eyes on the work, that then know how to translate what that means to a different and broader audience so that they can curate it for somebody. But a lot of times, what we're seeing in these spaces is that folks aren't really active in curation, and the folks that are don't look like us often, right? So, when it comes to talking about curation, it's like, this shit is systemic. And it also means we have an opportunity to change it, but we can't look at it and think that by having tags and filters that all of a sudden that's going to solve curation. It doesn't. It just helps you organize and sort the large swath of stuff that people make, but you're not actually telling a story, which is what curation is about.
Yeah, for sure. And you're right. It is very like personal. It's creative. It's creative in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a whole art to it. Like, absolutely.
And so, with all that saying, taking all that under your wing, how'd you now I've seen, and this is something I'm not even too familiar with. So now this is something I would love if you got me more hip. I see you're into something called the Black Hand now, and like the e-gaming, right? And I think that, I just think if gaming is something, it's just so crazy. I'm like, man, we were really from the era where literally our folks would tell us to stop playing fucking games all day. Yeah. And like literally like, all right, bet, like you gotta do some shit, but still playing games. And then like, at least me, right? I kind of like fell out of it, not because I didn't like games, but just doing some other shit.
Whatever. Like I had to start making money. You know what I'm saying? I had to start living life, and you couldn't make money off a video game unless you're betting. You know what I'm saying?
And then like within this whole decade, it's just been this whole like evolution in terms of like streaming and being able to form communities around it. Now it's to the fact that you don't even necessarily even have to be good at the game that you're playing to actually develop a whole base with it. So like like get me hip like what I'm saying, so what that's all about.
Yeah, so Black Hand is an effort. Shout out to my homies from high school, and shout out to my really good friend I met in Nashville, ATM, Blackout, and Roval. These are my homies, man. We've always played games together. We've competed way back in when MLG and game battles were separate. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you had the PlayStation 3 lobbies, when Call of Duty Blackouts was out and you would register.
Black Ops.
You know what I'm saying? Like the very first one.
Oh my God. What was the joint with the zombies too? When the zombie mode came out, it was stupid.
Exactly. But so, I came up when I was playing heavily in that, and I was also doing retro Halo 2 comps. Like I was mean on Team Snipers and SWAT. Like that was my thing. So, and we bonded in high school over this. So we would play constantly. Yeah. And so when I told my mom, I was like, "Yo, there's a website called MLG where I can register and earn money playing games." My mom was like, "All right, have you made any money yet?"
Oh, really? I was not expecting that.
Yeah. I was like, I made a couple dollars. It ain't nothing yet, but I mean, I'm gonna get there.
Right.
And she's like,
proof of concept.
I don't know about this, but whatever. Go ahead, go for it. See where it goes. At least you're not asking me for bread. She's not like that,
right? What do you need from me? Nothing. Cool. Go ahead.
My mom is hella supportive, and my pops. They were supportive with any and everything my brother and I were doing. So I honestly, I don't think I'd be here if it wasn't for their undying support. I think folks sleep out on supportive parents. But in any case, yeah, so we came up in that. I was making, I don't know, I think I made maybe like 30K in tournament winnings, like over the course of a couple years, like grinding it out. But I loved how at least we were kind of that initial vanguard paving the way for all these new kids to come through and be amazing, cracked at games. And then like they're making $2, $3, $4 million like in a year. Like It's incredible. And so Black Hand was our way to get back into the space and be like, yo, do you want to compete? Yeah, we want to compete. Do you want to stream? Yeah, we want to stream. It's the pandemic now. You know, my job is lax. Your job is lax. You ain't got one yet. Like, let's just like chill and like, hang out, right? So we at the start of the pandemic 2020 we got together, made a Discord, was just chatting it up, sharing games, had some of our family members, our friends that like wanted to play games with us so that we can coordinate games. And that's really what it was at first. It was just a way for us to like spend time together. And we started streaming on Twitch, got Twitch affiliate status within a month. We started getting subscriptions, and then the communities that we supported on Twitter and stuff like started to put us on. Shout out to like BBA Joker. Shout out to Mizo Pixels. Shout out to Jedi of Color, Paris Harley, Lizzie Pop Drop. Like, there's a bunch of people from Twitch that like we built a whole like family bond with. And it just so happened because I'm a designer, I think our Twitch streams were some of the hardest out. Like, I still think nobody
that's
really.
A lot of that's a big part of it. If it looks great, you know what I'm saying? You just gonna get people to watch just off the stream.
You feel me? I remember I was watching one of the designers from 100 Thieves. His name is SIRSU. I remember like sliding in like my design portfolio because he does like these reviews for people who are like on Photoshop. And I was just curious to see what he thought. And he was like, yo, this shit's hard. So I was like, all right, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Okay. All right.
Facts.
But in any case, we realized that we had something with what we were doing. And we wanted, and then we started thinking about, can we affect the space now? What could we do that like really sets us apart?
Yeah.
But the problem was Twitch don't pay enough. Streaming platforms, there's so much complexity to how you can become successful as a streaming personality. And it takes so much more than just having a great designed streaming setup.
Yeah.
But more than the equipment, more than the gameplay, and even your personality. But it takes, of course, like still forging really good connections, time, and a bit of luck, which are things that we knew we had, but also because this is not something that we had real affordance to kind of build, nor did we want to wait around for 4 or 5 years to get a break like most other like, really dope Black streamers. Like, and shout out to some of the most amazing people that are putting out content like X Mira and Ebonics and so on, and Stephanie and Any Saga, whatever. Because honestly, if it wasn't for those Black women, like the Twitch space would be an even darker environment for us to even operate in. So I was just like, there's just so much to it that I wanted to do away with. And so I found NFTs with the homies, and I was like, yo, let's reconvene. Let's keep this space that we got.
Right.
But let's not go hard on it yet. Let's regroup and figure out a better strategy. And after I got into NFTs and did Mint Fund and supported a bunch of other initiatives, and after ATM got put on and creating art and getting big, we were like, what if we decentralized ourselves? What would happen if the community that we supported so much owned itself and governed how we as a community move forward?
Right.
Would I be able to provide value to those people in a way that I couldn't before? Because many of them weren't streamers. They were just supporting us and watching us and super eager and excited to see us on stream. But there was no real way we could pay them back.
Right.
But through DAOs and token models and the economics around that, there are ways we can now give them value, even generational wealth value. And so we reinvented ourselves as one of the first premium decentralized esports, or as we call it, D-sports organizations in the space. And as a result, we put out our essay July 28th. We did our crowdfund, I think August 18th. And 24 hours, $1 million. It's fucking nuts.
Jesus Christ.
I still don't even, it still doesn't feel real to me. But all I can say is we're about to go fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Honestly, our goal is to be the most pervasive crypto native sporting organization, period. Esports is the beginning, but we want to impact all sports. Like anything where play is available,
Yeah.
Black Hand needs to be there. Like we got we got a theme song. Shout out to Ronan for putting this joint together. It's called Heavy as the Hand. I want everybody literally to be saying that shit. Like no matter where they're at. Like I think we have the ability to impact play in so many different ways that's the honest formative goal 10 15 years from now, is that we go hard as hell on esports, we make gaming accessible no matter where it lives, and then we impact every other sporting thing known to man. I just saw the NFL was saying NFL players can't mint NFTs. Fuck that. What if Black Hand became the NFL and we were like, yo, listen, each and every one of your teams, like we're building micro DAOs. Each team is a DAO that's governed by your fans. Why is it that fans, I love the Eagles. Y'all love your teams that y'all rep. Why can't we own a part of that since we make the team? If the fans don't watch, if the fans don't show up, what do they have?
Loses the value. The team loses value.
You feel me? Almost all of it, because there's nobody there that enjoys it. So we're at the forefront and the first that cements kind of like the fact that communities are the things that support all the stuff that we deal with, all the stuff that we watch, all the stuff that we engage with, all the things that we talk about. If it wasn't for a community, we wouldn't even have the language to describe sport, right? And sport is predicated on community, especially community engagement. So for me, I'm like, how can I facilitate sport and play wherever, no matter where it lives? And I think Black Hand could be that perfect vehicle for it. So, yeah.
That is crazy. That's a crazy story of how it all came about, and where you guys are headed. I'm like super excited about that. Like where can people, the idea of allowing the community to participate in the company's upside is something that I'm like obsessed with. I think we even talked about it last week. I think we talked about it last week as far as like, you know, that's essentially what stocks are supposed to do, but we have these other areas where we have communities, and there's that opportunity is not there. You know what I mean? Right. So where can people keep up with you and keep up with the projects that you got going on? You have a lot going on. What's the one, I mean, the few, if you want to, you know what I'm saying, name, but what are the ones that you want us to keep up with, and where can we do that?
Yo, if you follow me on Twitter, twitter.com @SIRSUHAYB, SIRSUHAYB. If you follow me on Twitter, my bio has all my Twitter ads. So for all the projects I'm working on, all the big ones anyway, right? So
we're gonna drop those in the bio too.
You know, the Mint Fund at Heat Check Me, which is a curatorial platform and museum that I barely talk about, but it's coming back in a big way. I've been on stealth mode. Well is Culture, which is a cultural index platform for the culture. So basically, all my Black people, yo, you got NFTs of any variety. It does not matter what it looks like, as long as it's culture. I want it on that platform because we need to document and create artifacts for our existence as we are now. This is one of the only times in which we're purely 100% able to leave our mark in a permanent manner. Like for me, for instance, I'm lucky enough that my family has been savvy insofar as looking to our ancestral history, but we still have a roadblock. We can't get past 1820. And we only got savvy enough because some of the slave owners that owned some of my family members were Portuguese and Spanish, and they used baptism records, but not every one of them did. And they're like one of the only few groups of people that were heavy on documentation, at least in some context. But the rest of us were like archaic numbers. We're like a number system that correlated to property value of a particular point in time. And if you don't understand what that is, which I don't, and none of that stuff is really documented anymore, it's hard to even figure out who was who or what was what and where you could find them. So there's a cutoff. And obviously, I still feel ancestral energy past that, but I can't trace its real direct source. And to be quite honest, I don't even know if, even if I could find it, if those people as a people still live and exist in that same place. So for me, the well is the love letter I'm sending to Black people in the African diaspora saying, listen, like, this is an ability for us to always chart and create a running dialogue of who we are and where we come from, no matter how far back we can go and how far we want to reach. Right, like this is an index for us, so that we never lose sight of how ill we are, so that we don't have other people co-opting our shit without us getting our just due and our value. And this is something that hopefully evolves and becomes a super pervasive thing where every culture, no matter what type, has its own well. But essentially, I needed to start with us first because that's not only the closest that I'm with, but it's aligned with my principles and my values. So I think that's probably one of like my most coveted projects that I'm looking to deploy at the end of the month. And then of course there's Black Hand. That's also in my Twitter @ outside of that, sometimes when I have a chance, I'll write on Substack or I'll write on my Mirror page. So it'll have like really interesting experiments that I do every once in a while. And kind of just like my thoughts in the space. But yeah, and then if you're on Twitter, like that's me at my rawest. Like I don't hide who I am, how I feel. You know, it is what it is. I think for me, being open has worked more than me being pseudo anonymous. I think if I was pseudo anonymous, my art would probably jump off, but my impact as far as community wouldn't hit as hard because there's no face that they can, put to it. I'm not trying to be like a beacon, or like my goal is not to like be an icon or whatever, but my goal is to just open fucking doors. And I know I can do that by being actively present, showing my face for real, and bringing a sledgehammer. Because
It's hard to like follow a non-face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then like a lot of these
Twitter egg.
Yeah,
like follow them like literally like you're a leader of people.
Right.
I'm doing what I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm taking a sledgehammer and I'm busting shit down. Like I'm not politely asking. Crypto's the one space where we can do what the fuck we want and never ask for forgiveness, because I don't think we need to, especially us as a culture. We don't need to ask for anything. We need to just take our shit back and be like, y'all gotta have to deal with it. You feel me? So that's how I'm rocking with it. And
I don't think that message.
That's the tone.
Yeah, because I don't think that message is out there enough. Like motherfuckers be just hands out, like as far as like asking for shit. And it's like, yo, like there's a lot of power in just being like, okay, I'm gonna go get what I want. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you have to sometimes like, even going about that, you got to do it in the right way sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But like, that can be figured out, you know what I'm saying? And that can be more dependable in your lifetime to figure that out than just figuring out different ways to ask different people to ask. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If I had advice to offer, it would be, listen, when you want to get what you want, sometimes you gotta shake the bullshit of, I don't want to annoy you. No, you gotta annoy niggas because people are busy. People are busy. So you if you wait around, then the next thing you know, that person forgets. And then the momentum of of the idea that you wanted to capture starts to die. Yeah, if you have momentum and you have a burning thing that you want to get done, research what you can, identify the people that you think can help you, and don't spam them, but definitely come through and be like, listen, this is something I'm really interested in doing. Here's where I'm at with it. Here's what I can bring to the table.
Right.
And here's what I would love advice on how to approach X, Y, and Z. At least give them an opportunity to give you something, even if it's not fully what you want. Because 9 times out of 10, if you offer the opportunity and they come back and say, look, listen, I can't do anything right now, but I can float you 6 other people and I can give you these resources and I can give you this, that, and the third. You've now moved the needle, and you continue to move the needle until it gets to a point to where, you can actually like, make something happen,
Really?
So it's about being persistent and unwavering and using your voice. You have to. This is even though we have 2 ears and 2 eyes and we got one big ass mouth, this thing carries so much more than people know if you know how to harness it. And I think this past year I've learned how to harness my voice to get shit done. When I'm saying something, I want people to be on notice. I want people to be like, oh, word, this is what's happening. Okay, what do I need to do? Like, so we gotta learn how to channel our voice to get what we want. Because nobody's gonna get it for us, especially us. They don't fuck with us like that. They love us because they love what we bring and what we do, but they don't fuck with us like that. So why am I trying to, placate to you? Nah, you doing what I want you to do.
Right. That's real shit.
So, and it just so happens that because we're thinking about our people, it benefits everybody anyway, even if we're selfish with it. So,
no bullshit.
That's a big fact.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot. Yeah, like there's a lot to digest in this episode, bro.
Share with a lot of individuals what was talked about today.
I feel like I needed that last little part of that pep talk. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, definitely appreciate you, Amir, for coming on.
Thank you, Amir, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure, man.
I'm definitely gonna be keeping up with you. And yeah, man, we'd love to have you back again too. Whenever you got any other projects you want to talk about or anything that you want to talk about, bro. Like always welcome to come through here and chop it up and let us know about what you got going on. And yeah.
Yo, we can be on the show just bullshitting too. Like,
we can make it a monthly thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can make it a regular thing for sure.
I'm with it. I don't have to always show projects. I was like the conversation with the comedians. I was in on that one.
Oh yeah, big facts. Yeah. Okay, you gonna be our little correspondent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we need that third voice, bro, for sure.
I'm on pulse with everything culture related. So
yeah, and I see you got the setup. You got the setup like you be streaming and all that type of shit. So I know what time it is with you.
Oh, listen, yo, like when the black hand shit pop off for real though,
right?
You're not seeing this. We got something vicious. We got something vicious,
bro. I already from the design tip, I already understand, bro. Like all of this is curated as well. Like this whole shit is like I understand.
Yeah. So if y'all ever slide through in the Discord, I'll show you guys some special stuff.
Hey,
for sure, bro.
We join. We go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely hop in.
Yeah,
for sure, man.
Thank you
again, man. Appreciate you coming through. And have a good weekend.
Yep.
Yo, you too. Y'all have a great one. This has been amazing. Can't wait to come back.
All right.
Peace.
Great conversation right there, bro. Definitely fucked with that.
Yeah. You want to take it to the go commercial then?
I mean, we can take it out. Like we kind of running out of time. We've been on for like an hour and a half. That shit flew by. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But yeah, like let's just go ahead and wrap it up. Get into the weekend. Get into the Friday.
What's going on
this weekend, I'm watching football, man. I'm watching football. I'm watching football. Play some of my bets, man. We got an episode of Parlay today. We think we're doing either tonight or tomorrow. Just catch us on the stream. I'll let people know like right before we stream. I think we plan for tonight. That's the it's on like the YouTube and the Facebook and stuff like that. But that's where me, Tim, D, and Jaquay talk about the bets that we're going to place on Sunday for football. Last night I hit on a little parlay the Redskins game, and so I'm feeling good going into this weekend. Some good games I'm looking forward to. But other than that, I'm editing. Time to Cuff the edit is coming through well. We got some edits of the fantasy I got to do this weekend, so I'm gonna have a little busy weekend. What about you?
Yeah, man. Finish this recap up. Finish this little website up. Get to planning this cool little happenings. I'm trying to get together for NFT NYC week. So,
yeah. You were telling me about that.
Trying to get that underway. So yeah, got a couple things to take care of this weekend, but I'm excited.
All right, man. So I guess we all gonna be productive. Hope all of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Hope all y'all be productive out there.
See y'all real early.
See y'all early next week.
Early.